Hello and welcome to the 2022 Asian Triathlon Cup in Bahrain course preview. I am Nate F. I'm an elite triathlete. I raced this race. It was the last race for Draft Legal World Triathlon races in the 2022 season. So the last race you could use clip-on aero bars. I have a podcast on my podcast channel, International Triathlon Podcast. So go check that out. We talk about no more aero bars. So sad, but this was kind of a historic race, and I'm here to break it down for you, give you a little bit of info on the race, the course, how it is, some travel tips if you are thinking about doing this race in the future. I had a really great time here and hope to share that experience with you. This is the swim start. This is the elite women. You start on the beach. The sand is really, really nice. There's a few rocks, but honestly, not too bad. And the water is really clear and pretty smooth for the most part. Once you get out past the jetties, it could be a little bit rough depending on the wind conditions, but honestly, great swim, just a little bit salty water, but it's the ocean, so what can you do? Other than that, really nice swim, really enjoyable. Sand is really soft. You can see these elite women running out, and they did a really great job organizing this race. They actually had a 70.3 here the weekend before, so a lot of the infrastructure they had was set up for that, and they just kept it for this race. So really well done. As you can see, it's totally blocked off on both sides. Very clear. You're not going to go the wrong way at all. And keeps the spectators a good safe distance for you so you can just focus on racing. I actually accidentally walked onto the course because I was so excited filming this. But yeah, as you can see, they are still not at transition. It is quite a long run. So if you are good at running after the swim, you could potentially make up a lot of time on people who are maybe just a little bit ahead of you out of the water because it's over a minute long run. I'd say about 400 meters. It's hard to tell, but I'd say at least 400 to 500 meters run from the swim exit to where you eventually mount your bike. So just so you know, it's hard to tell on the course maps how long the run is. It's about 400 to 500 meters. So I'm going to be walking over to the side here. These elite women are running so fast. If you want to see the highlights of the elite women's race, I actually filmed it because they started after us. I got to watch the whole race. So I'm going to put the highlights for the elite women's race on the International Triathlon Podcast YouTube channel. So go over there. I'll put a link in the description. Subscribe to that channel because I'm going to be doing more race highlights like it. And yeah, these elite women had an incredible race. It was really exciting all the way to the end. And you get to the transition area though, they have the elite women on this side, and then the elite men are on the other side of the transition area. So you kind of make this left-hand turn. This is where the elite men's racks are. So you don't have to get your bike right after the race is done. You can just leave it there, which is really nice so you don't have to stress about it. I know some races there's only one transition, and whoever goes first has to get their bikes out of there so the next group of athletes can go. But for this race, huge transition area, so you don't have to worry about that. It's really nice. There's the mount line right there, and this is me on my bike the day before the race doing the course preview. You've got about 20 meters, 25 meters, and then you make this U-turn right after the mount line to start the bike course. There's a little bit of sand. I don't know if you can see it, but it honestly wasn't that sketchy. You just have to go a little bit slower for the turn. I don't think anyone crashed on that part of the course in either race. Yeah, the road's really smooth, so you just have to be mindful. There's a little bit of sand there. It is kind of a dry, deserty climate. But other than that, yeah, really nice roads, super smooth, probably the nicest roads I've raced on this whole year. You got the palm trees on both sides, the hotels, all that stuff. Really, really cool. It's not a technical course at all. It's very flat. The turns, you can pretty much pedal through all of them except for the 3 U-turns on the course. It's 4 laps, and yeah, super straightforward. You just gotta keep your head down and push the watts. Yeah, the race hotel is right by the transition area. It's right by the beach where you swim. It is a little bit pricey, but if you can split a room with someone, definitely makes it a little more affordable. But you also don't have to stay at the race hotel. You can stay at some apartments nearby. That's what I did. I split an apartment with a couple other guys, and it was pretty affordable, like 50 euros, $50 a night. And it was just a couple Ks from the race venue. So definitely lots of great hotel, apartment options in this area. It's very safe and lots of Ubers and taxis. So You can go and see the city after the race. This was the last race of the 2022 season. It's December 17th, but you would not be able to tell because the weather is so good. It was like 20 degrees while we were there, maybe 20 up to 25. So it was like shorts and t-shirts weather in the evening. You can maybe put on a sweater, but it was just really, really nice weather while we were there. If you're looking to escape some of the cold, depending on where you live in December, um, or towards the end of the year next year, I would definitely recommend coming to Bahrain for this race because it's nice and warm and yeah, a really enjoyable time here. Lots of things to see, like in the city. If you like shopping or like trying different foods and stuff, they have like a lot of malls and stuff, so it's really cool. There is only one speed bump on the course, and it's coming up right here, but it's really gentle. It's more like a speed hump. You can see it, boom, right there. And then you go into this left-hand turn. It's really wide, really nicely paved, and you can just absolutely rail this turn. So, yeah, really, really straightforward. This is the second U-turn of 3 on the course. The first one, like I said earlier, is right out of that transition area about 25 meters after the mount line. And then you kind of make this sweeping right-hand turn. It's like more like a bend, to be honest. It's not really a turn. You don't really have to stop pedaling. As you can see, no one ahead of me stopped pedaling. We are going at a pretty chill pace, but even during the race, I know I pedaled through that turn. So yeah, not a technical course at all. It's really just about putting the power down, trying to catch people if you're behind, or trying to stay ahead if you're ahead. So yeah, this is not, yeah, not too exciting of a race. It's more just like a power course. It was interesting because sometimes on these non-technical courses, the races come together, but in the men's and women's races, all the packs that came out of the water pretty much stayed the same. Everyone just kind of kept their gaps the same, or give or take a few seconds after the swim. So yeah, really interesting. There is a little bit of wind on the course, but it honestly just depends on the weather. It is kind of a drier climate close to the ocean, so you could get some wind that affects the race, but really it's not too much to worry about. Yeah, like I said, for our race, it was like 20 degrees, which was like perfect. It was just, yeah, really, really nice. Now, this is the third U-turn of the course. This is the only one that's maybe a little bit tricky. So you have this brick, not a problem, and then you make the turn, and you can see I'm going to go a little wide here because the road's wide, but I go over these little reflectors or like road marker things, and they're really bumpy. It's hard to tell from the video, but they stick up quite a bit from the road. So during the race, if you go over those, it definitely slows you down a bit. So on that U-turn, I would maybe advise turning it a little bit tighter than you think, because the road looks a lot wider, but once you hit those, it really like kind of messes up your rhythm. And so yeah, I found when I turned it a little tighter during the race, it was a lot better. This is the only section of the course where you can see other people in the race. So on the other side of this barrier in the center of the road, you'll be able to see if there are people behind you, and you can kind of count the lampposts and see like how far ahead or behind you are in the race. And this is the only part of the course where you can do it. So definitely motivating to see where you are in relation to everyone else in the race. And it could help you catch up, or it could help you stay away depending on what situation you find yourself in on race day. But yeah, as you can see, there's more of these little road bumpy things, but as long as you stay off of them, it's pretty chill. Not a lot of issues here. The road is always kind of bending aside that one straight road out of transition area. The road's always kind of bending a little bit, so that's something to keep in mind. You can always like save a little bit of time if you ride on the inside of the bend. It's kind of like running in lane 1 of the track. You run a lot less distance if you're running in lane 1 versus lane 9. So the road works the same way as the track does. If you're riding on the inside of the road, you're going to be doing less distance than if you're riding on the outside. As these elite women are doing ahead of me, they're riding on the left of the road because the road is bending to the left. And yeah, you're going to do less distance if you do that. So a little pro tip there. And yeah, other things about this race, like I said, it's very well organized. They have the 70.3 the weekend before, and some people stick around. I know some of the elite men did the 70.3, and they also did this Sprint Asian Cup. So if that's something you're into, if you do 70.3 and short course, this could be a really fun race for you. I think they try and usually book them on the same weekends. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, something to look forward to. And very well organized event. Very safe course. They had lots of police and people out there guiding the traffic. So it was very nice during the race. And yeah, I had a really enjoyable time at this race, and it was a great way to finish off the season. Really good vibes too with everyone there. They're just happy to get one last race in at the end of the year. So as we're coming up towards the end of this bike course, you can kind of see up ahead, we're turning to the left. It's just a really big road, um, just a nice generous bend, and you go on the right of these palm trees up ahead. So right there, on the left of those palm trees, that's the run course. It follows the first little bit of the bike course. You kind of just go on that straight road, make that right hand turn and go up like 30 meters, turn around, and then come back on the other side of the road. So you're not actually running back the same direction you're biking back. The whole run is on the other side of the road, just so you know. And you have to go around the U-turn before you go back into transition. So up ahead, you're going to see on the bike, you kind of turn right and you go into the transition area. On the run, you actually have to go to that first U-turn, go around it, and then you turn left, and then it's kind of a little chicane. So you go left and then right to the finish line. So keep that in mind. If you're going to be trying to pass people, you kind of got to do it before that U-turn because there's not a lot of time. Because you do the U-turn, you make the left, then you make the right, and then the finish line's right there. So something to keep in mind for this course, and something that is a little bit hard to tell on the course maps. So you're going to see everyone's kind of going to the right here. That's the dismount line. It is not a flow-through transition area, so you do not bike through the transition area every lap. You only go in at the end of the fourth lap. So this is the transition area from the elite women's race, and that is Antone from Romania. She is pushing the pace on the front. She had a really great race here, one of my friends. So a little shout out to her leading the charge into the transition area, and we're going to watch her do her thing. But yeah, carpet all throughout the transition area, and as you can see, it's really well spaced out, so really nice, really clean transition area, and then you just go out the same way you did for the bike. Very clear flow, very well organized, and yeah, the run is really, really flat. You just go out and back on the same road, and yeah, 3-lap run, which was actually kind of fun. You got a lot of time to see where you were, and then when you come in from the run, you have to go around the U-turn, like I said. Then it's a left, then a right, and then you come in the finish line. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, gave you a little more insight on this course. If you're thinking about doing this race in the future, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you're interested in watching the women's highlights, I'm going to have those up with a link in the description here to the International Triathlon Podcast YouTube channel, so you can watch the elite women's highlights. It was a really exciting race. I definitely recommend you go watch that. And as always, give us a follow on Instagram, and I hope you enjoy your day. If you like this video, share it with a friend. And as always, let's keep talking about it.